Welcome to episode 22 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. As you know, there are thousands of surnames in these regions, so to make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. Each of the family names that we'll examine today was requested by members of our YouTube community. You might note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate your patience as I make my way through the hundreds of names still on our list, and the list is growing, by the way. In case you missed the previous video, I'll post a link to it in the description. So, today on The Vantage Point, we'll be talking about the origins and meanings of 9 common and not so common Appalachian and Southern surnames. I hope you'll join me. Let's get started. Number 1, Cheryl. We're starting off today with a name that's common in the South, but it's not particularly common in Great Britain and Ireland. I'm not 100% sure of what I found out about Cheryl, but what I didn't surprise me. So, as a result, I wanted to share it with you. Cheryl appears to be a Norman surname that arrived in Great Britain in the 11th century. It seems to have derived from Cherwell or Clear Spring. Once on the island of Great Britain, it took root in the southwest of England, particularly in Devonshire and Cornwall. That's a Celtic region of England. Cheryl is not common in Scotland, Ireland, or Wales, so I think we're safe in calling Cheryl an Anglo-Norman or English surname. Number 2, Millsap. If you're a fan of country music and impressed by people who have tremendous God-given talent, you probably have a place in your heart for Ronnie Millsap from Graham County, North Carolina. Robbinsville, I think, in particular, is the town he's from. It's more common in America than it is in Great Britain and Ireland. Millsap is believed to be derived from the Middle English form of the English language for one who liked bread soaked in milk. I have some fond memories of enjoying cornbread and milk when I was a young kid. My grandfather, he sure loved his cornbread and buttermilk. If you ever had these treats, please let me know in the comments section. I really do read all the comments and I appreciate exchanging thoughts with you. One online source says that Millsap is an Anglo-Irish surname, so I will stick to that label. Number 3, Roland. When the Normans landed in southeastern England in the late 11th century, the name Roland arrived with them. The name was applied to someone who was associated with a famous land. Roland without the W seems to be popular in England, but it appears as Roland with a W in Ulster, that's Northern Ireland. In the Republic of Ireland, it's an anglicized version of this Gaelic name. In Scotland, Black claims that the name was derived from a common Germanic personal name. Nonetheless, it's been in the Scottish records since 1150. It's not among the more common surnames in Wales, so I think we can call Roland an Anglo-Norman, English, Scots, or Anglo-Irish surname. Number 4, Morton. When I saw this name in the comments section, my mind went back to the 1960s and 70s when TV commercials had memorable catchphrases. Do you remember "When it rains, it pours" by Morton Salt? I have no idea why they connected rain to their product, but it worked. I remember it after all these years. Morton is an English surname in its original form. It referred to a farm located on moorland. Harrison says it's toponymic. That's a place name. However, in Scotland, it first appears in the Dumfries records in 1206. The Scottish version is also a toponymic stemming from a parish by that name in Dumfriesshire. There's also a castle in the area that's handily named Morton Castle. McLysick says that Morton is an English toponymic, but it's been in Ireland since the 13th century. Morton doesn't appear to be common among the names in Wales. I think that because the surname has been in Ireland and Scotland for nearly a millennium, it can be called an English, Irish, or Scottish surname, depending on where one's line originated. Number 5, Connolly. For the history buffs among us, you might recall that there were 3 people shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, or somebody, in Dallas, Texas on November 22, 1963. They were JFK, Officer J.D. Tippit, and Governor John Connolly. Connolly is an Irish surname. In Gaelic it's spelled, it means conflict. In Appalachia in the South, we are more than safe in calling Connolly an Irish surname. Number 6, Samson. Samson is an alternate spelling for Samson and Sampson. This Hebrew name means splendid son. It also is a reference to Samuel's son. As a biblical name, it shouldn't come as a surprise that it's found in other countries, including Germany. It was found among the Anglo-Saxons by the invading Normans. It appears in the Scottish records in Dunkeld in the mid-12th century. As Black points out, though, it's a rare surname in Scotland. In Ireland, it's regarded as an English surname, even though it's been on the Emerald Isle since the 14th century. I'm comfortable calling Samson an Anglo-Hebrew or a Hiberno, that's Irish Hebrew surname. Number 7, Raider. I looked in my surname books for the Isles, but I didn't find Raider in them. After giving it a few seconds to sink in, I recalled a famous person named Raider who was a Lutheran. Lutheranism originated as a German expression of Christianity, so I grabbed my book on German surnames. Lo and behold, there it was for us to see. It was derived as an occupational name for a wheelwright. It's hard for us modern folk to appreciate that at one time, people relied on wooden wheels, so a good wheelwright was as important to travel and commerce in the medieval world as a mechanic would be today. I think we can be confident that Raider is a Germanic surname. Number 8, Autry. When I received Autry, my mind immediately went to the old Western classics that starred Gene Autry. Autry could be a French surname that has a couple of origins. It was derived from the personal name Audrey or from a place named Autry. According to Harrison, in England, Audrey is an English toponymic. In Appalachia in the South, I think we can be confident that Autry is an Anglo-Norman surname. Number 9, McDowell. In Irish Gaelic, McDowell appears as it's a Scottish surname that arrived in Ireland from the Hebrides. It means dark foreigner. It was brought to Ireland as a gallowglass surname. You might be wondering, what was a gallowglass? Do you drink out of it? Well, between the middle of the 13th century to the late 15th century, Irish clans that could afford to hire mercenaries were keen to hire elite mercenaries from the Scottish Isles. That's how they acquired the Gaelic name of dark foreigner. The surname is mostly found in the northern reaches of Ulster, so there's a good chance that in Appalachia and the South, McDowell is a Scots-Irish or Scottish surname. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us a whole lot. I invite you to check out all the videos on the Vantage Point. In addition to the Surnames of Appalachia in the South, they cover a wide range of topics. I even have one that discusses the deadliest hurricane in American history. I hope you'll check it out. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the Surnames of Appalachia and the American South. I hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.